It's another day and just another opportunity to get up and get going. So I want to ask you, how are your energy levels? I'm thinking about the fact that my car's been sitting outside for 13 weeks, which is approximately 92 days. And I don't think that there's any gas in the tank. And for us and the challenges that we're facing on a daily basis through life, on our journeys, what is your gas tank like? How high are your energy levels? I've discovered that actually there are two types of energy. One type of energy is based on the things that you put into your body. So it's the fuel that you put in. So it's the food it is that you eat. It's the nourishment. It's the nutrients. It's the water you drink. That's one type of energy. So we give our body fuel by eating and eating the right foods on a regular basis. And then doing exercise so that we can kind of like move all of the stuff around. And then there is another energy that comes from the inside out. Because one of the things that's been interesting for me on my journey is people have often and regularly actually commented on my energy levels. And I've discovered that my energy levels have got absolutely nothing to do with what it is that I put in my body. And that's probably a whole nother conversation. But my energy levels are based on stuff that's coming from the inside out. That I am quite literally on a high all of the time until it is I'm tired and I'm ready to sleep. I'm a bit like the Energizer Bunny, where the battery just keeps on going, it kind of keeps on moving. And that can only happen because of what it is that I already have on the inside that actually is coming out. And for me, I would tell you, as you know that I would, I'd tell you that it's about me, my connection with God, my relationship, it's him on the inside, all of that kind of thing. That's the conversation I'd have with that. But for those of you that aren't believers, that energy is based on your belief system. That's based on who it is that you think you are, who it is that you know yourself to be, and that you are energized from that place, and that you're constantly filling yourself up so that you are energized and encouraged to just keep moving. It's that whole thing where actually you recognize, do you know what? This is who it is I am, and I'm good with that. Yep, there are some bits that might need changing, or there's some bits that you could add to it, but actually you are okay with who you are, and that you are standing in your truth and actually being energized by that. Now, for me, I have quite literally been on my own for about 92 days now. Yeah. But you know what? People keep asking me, do I feel lonely? And I suddenly thought, oh, wow, I'm alone, but I don't feel lonely. I don't feel lonely because I am connecting with the world through the screen. I'm talking to people. I jokingly say that I'm hanging out with my three besties, which is Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and Papa G. And so I don't feel lonely. But I do feel alone at times for obvious reasons because I'm alone. But the energy on the inside of me just keeps me going. It keeps me getting up in the morning. It keeps me pushing through. That when it is that I have a conversation with somebody, it lights up the conversation. It gives something to the person it is that I'm speaking to because it's the energy that's coming from the inside. So my question to you is that how do you top yourself up? And I don't just mean, the hearty meal that you had last night or that you're planning, the breakfast that you had now or what you're doing for lunch. I'm not talking about the physical food. It's more in terms of the spiritual food, the emotional food. How are you feeding yourself to ensure that that tank is full? And that there are maybe times or people in your life that actually you feel that they drain your energy. If that's the case, then actually maybe you need to relook at that relationship or how it is that you operate in it. But more importantly, you need to find either conversations, people, things that will fill you up so that you're now in a better position to give. Because the whole COVID-19, the whole racism conversations, that is draining. That whole bit where it is that we are getting emotional over one thing or another, that is draining us. And if we aren't finding ways to fill ourselves up, then we're operating from a drained place. And my mother always used to say, an empty bag can't stand up. I mean, okay, she was talking about me and food, but I think that's equally important for everything else. That if you aren't putting the right stuff in, you are running on empty, and it's going to be so much harder to push through. It's a bit like pushing a car uphill when the engine isn't working properly. And so rather than feeling that you are pushing uphill, actually look at how it is that you are filling yourself up. If you are watching lots of news and the statistics and all of those kind of things, stop it. There's one thing about being informed, and then there's another thing about filling yourself up with that, because then that is what it is that you've got to play with or to draw from. And that's not going to be positive energy to help you to move forward. If it is that you are connecting with people whose energy isn't moving in the right direction, then you've got one of two choices, really, is to look at how it is that you can highlight to them or help them in terms of their energy flow, or get out of Dodge, move away. Because you don't have to be there. You can still love them from a distance. You can still pray for them. You can still believe for them, but you don't have to have them in your space, you taking your energy. And then how do you fill up? Are you standing in front of the mirror and reminding the boy or the girl in the mirror that they are awesome, that, do you know what, that they are great? One of the things that I do is that there is a song called The Blessing, and that there are a number of churches around the globe that have kind of come together and sung it. And there's one called the UK Blessing, and it's UK churches, and it's basically a blessing. And I actually stand in front of the mirror and I talk to the girl in the mirror and just kind of call a blessing on her. And okay, this might not be your thing, but what I'm saying is that the girl or the boy in the mirror is the person it is that you need to speak to encourage them, to remind them that yes, they can, that they can push through this. And by you doing that for yourself, you are immediately raising your energy levels. You're moving the gauge from empty. What is it that you are reading? Do you listen to empowerment things, to sermons, to preachers, to prayer? Are you listening to things that will fill you up so that you can kind of go and do what it is that you are here to do? So I want you two things today. One is to look at the gauge, look at your energy gauge. Are you running on full or empty? Identify whereabouts it is, and then think about what is it that actually energizes you. And then look at incorporating more of that into your daily journey through life. Because if you do that, I guarantee that you will feel more energized and empowered to tackle the storms when it is that they rage. Because in the midst of my challenges and the midst of the things where I think, I've got energy that's high. That's quite literally, that's high all the time. At one point I was thinking, is there something really wrong with you? Because you always seem to be, hyper. But no, I'm realizing it's because of what it is that I have filled myself with, and obviously my source, that is giving me the energy to keep going. And not only is it giving me the energy to keep going, I actually look energized, don't I? What do you think? So I want to encourage you, wherever it is that you are, that actually there's time to top up your energy because you got things to do and the world is waiting for you to show up. Wherever it is you are, from my heart to yours, I'm sending you lots of love.